Hey everybody, it's Ed. The future is now, and the future is Virgin Galactic. So we usually talk about Tesla on this channel a lot, but I really wanted to have a whole video dedicated to SPCE or Virgin Galactic. This is Richard Branson's company. But before we get into it, make sure to smash the like button and be sure to subscribe for sure to the channel so you can see anything when it comes to Tesla or SPCE, and also hit the bell notification. That way it pops up and at least it shows it up in your screen. Doesn't cost anything to do, but it helps the channel out. So the first thing I wanted to do is explain a little bit about the company. If you don't understand anything about the company and what they're trying to do, don't invest in companies like that, okay? You need to know what's going on. So they basically have a rocket that's attached to the airplane. They take the airplane up and then they release the rocket from the airplane, they detach it, and then they go up into space. So it's a very safe concept and well put together. So this is really the first company to do space tourism as a service business. I like the concept of service business where you can continually sell the same service. $250,000 per ticket currently. But the question is the demand. Is the demand everything here? So just briefly on demand, we have three types of demand. We have short-term demand, mid-term, and long-term demand. Short-term demand, they've already got covered. They already have pre-orders. They've got people wanting to go. The mid-term is all the people go up, say, hey, I love this, or oh my God, this is so not worth it, or whatever, and then that'll push the mid-term demand. And the long-term demand is pretty much the critical element, meaning can they get the prices down when they scale up? So right now they've got 2 in hangars, and they're pretty much ready to go. I'm not sure if both of them are 100% complete, but this is a good sign for the company. You can see they have a huge hangar, and they've already been doing test flights and everything. So I mean, this is really happening, and it's going to be happening pretty soon. Well, you can see the one on the right still has a lot of work to do, but we don't know exactly. This picture is older, so I'm not sure where they're at in production on that. They are also reporting their earnings pretty soon. So I'm going to let you guys know what we're doing, what our moves are in the chart, in the technicals, in the data. So I've got 3 charts for you today because I wanted to get into detail. We've got the 3-month, the 1-month, and the 10-day. So you can see really what's going on in a lot of different levels, not just one chart. So you can see the IPO was released right around $12 a share. I don't know exactly. It doesn't really matter. Okay. And then you can see it dip down like most IPOs do. And then you can see we bought in at 924 and not maybe like 100 shares or 150. I can't remember exactly. And then we added 200 shares when it broke the IPO because that's a huge indicator. Okay, it's above where the first initial IPO is, and look at what happened after that. It went flying up. Okay, it went hyperbolic, kind of like how Tesla did. Okay, nobody was talking about this, but this thing went up 100% in a very short period of time. And we bought it in a perfect time. So then when I saw that, I pulled back and we sold all the shares off when it started taking the dip. But then since it bounced, we just bought right back in 340 shares, like somewhere ballpark there. And then I'm going to have to double check all that. And then we added, or we're going to add 200 shares if it breaks that ceiling. Okay, that's our plan. So that does not mean that it's automatically going to go up, and I'm not saying that. Okay, you have possible scenarios here. 1, it could head up and break that resistance. It could head up and resist the ceiling and head back down. And then it could head down and bounce off the floor and stay in the channel. Or it could go down, break the floor, and we would be out in that scenario. So the last chart is the 10-day chart, and I want to show you what I see from the data. But before I do that, I want to make an analogy of this. Okay? If you've seen The Hunt for Red October, then this will probably make sense. So they're taking the submarine and trying not to crash into the walls. And the guy's like, but Captain, we're out of the lane as much as a boat length. And he's like, shut up. Sorry, my Russian accent is probably just as good as the Scottish Russian accent. I guess the point I'm trying to make is I would get in my scuba gear and get out of the sub before it smashes the wall and sinks to the bottom of the ocean. Okay? But if it breaks and it breaks up, then you're going to see serious breach. Okay? And that could really head the stock up. So you can see the channel plain as day. You got the ceiling around $19.75. You got the new floor around $16.60. Okay, so, and it is trending slightly up. You can see the curve that I drew here. So it's still trending up, which is a good sign for space. So, but right now we are definitely in the lane. We're in the channel, and there's no reason for me to buy or sell in this channel whatsoever. Now, if it breaks up the channel, that's a good sign, and I like buying going up because you're making money going up. I talk about that all the time. That is the biggest mistake that investors make. They try to pick a bottom and they keep buying going down as they're losing money. That is a huge mistake, and after a while, once you trade, if you're new to trading or investing, you will see that, and you will see that that is a mistake over time. So, but anyway, and if it does break the floor, we will be out and we will wait until it has signs of positive motion. So I like this stock, but once again, this is the beginning. This is the beginning of the stock. So, and this is an interesting chart, and it's already developing like clockwork to me. This is so obvious to see the data. So I guess to sum it up, we invest in companies that are growth companies. Okay, companies that are 1, 3, 5, 10 years down the road, changing the world, impacting the world for the better, and making the world a fun place to live in. Okay, not just value and not just dividends. If you want value or dividend stocks, this is definitely not the channel for that. Okay, this is a channel if you want to invest in a future that you want to see. Thanks a lot for joining me today. And if there's any questions you have about SPCE, please leave them in the comments. I usually read every comment that I can and respond as well. Have a great weekend, guys.